Okay guys, so this video is going to serve two purposes. One is obviously to go through the details of the syllabus, but the other is to kind of demonstrate the idea of a flipped classroom, which is primarily how you'll be receiving the basic information this year. This frees up class time for other things, as you'll see, or as you did see today in class. We got to do an activity day one instead of talking about syllabus information. So that's the benefit of doing these videos at home, is we then get to spend class time doing hands-on group discussions, labs, all sorts of different activities that are a more useful use of that time. All right, y'all, so the end goal of this course is to pass that AP Biology exam, which we will talk about in great detail throughout the year, but the most important thing you need to know is when is it? It's Monday, May 11th at 8 a.m. It's the second week of AP exams, very first one. There is a fee for taking the exam. It's $100. However, the last few years, the state has paid for one STEM exam for every student. So if this is your only STEM AP class, then you can use that to pay for this exam. All right, as far as materials that you need for this class, the basics, paper, specifically blue or black ink pen, because you have to write your FRQs in blue or black ink. Pencil for tests for the Scantrons. You need two different colored highlighters that need to be with you, especially on FRQ Fridays, because that's when we'll be using them. And then I require a 1-inch binder and 8 dividers for a review notebook project that we do. It can only be used for that review notebook. I don't want anything else in there. So if you want to hang on to other papers, you're going to need a separate binder for those extra papers. And then you do need a calculator. It doesn't have to be specific for my class. If you have one for math, it'll probably work for this class. On the exam, the only thing you cannot use is a calculator that has a QWERTY keyboard, so a regular computer keyboard. It cannot have that. This is our textbook. It's much better than the old textbook that we used because it's a lot smaller and more manageable, easy to use, easier to read. We will use it quite a bit, but for the most part, it can stay at home. I have a class set of the old textbooks that we can use as needed in the classroom, but this one you'll for sure need to use at home. So this summer, AP Biology was one of the AP courses that got a new curriculum or a revised curriculum. Not a lot changed, but they did give us a specific set of units that they want us to teach, and in this order is their preference. So you see here the order of the units and the exam weighting, meaning that's roughly the percent of the exam that will cover those topics. You'll see that first semester there's 5 units and second semester there's only 3 units. That's partly because those 3 units second semester are pretty lengthy in terms of the recommended time by College Board to spend on those units. Plus that gives us time after those units for review prior to the exam. And I've provided for you the full course and exam description, which has all the detail you could ever want about this class. And you can access it either, I think you can click on the link in the syllabus on Canvas, or I've provided a separate link on the syllabus tab in Canvas that you can use to access that CED. All right, so as far as grading goes, there's 3 categories. The first one is evidence of learning. This is basically saying these are the assignments where you are showing me that you're learning the content, that you're in the process of learning it. And so that category is 30% of your grade. The assessments of standards, that's where you're showing me what you did learn. So these are bigger assignments, so test projects, formal lab reports. That will make up 50% of your grade. And then let me talk about second semester first. Second semester, all freshmen take the biology EOC, or all freshmen that are enrolled in a biology course take the biology EOC, and the state mandates that that counts 20% of the course grade. So I basically mirror that first semester and make the midterm count as 20%. So that's your breakdown, 30, 50, 20, both semesters. The makeup policy is the standard county policy of 10 days upon your return from an absence. It's your responsibility to get that missed work. I'll show you where you can pick it up. It's up to you to get it to me within that 10-day guideline. I'm not going to remind you because I've got too many students. I can't keep up with it. Now, that 10-day rule does not apply to long-standing assignments like a project or a lab report or something like that. You don't get 10 extra days to work on that. Those would be due the day you return if they were turned in the day that you were absent. Please remember that this is technically a college level course being taught in high school, so late work is really not acceptable. However, I want you to complete it because completing the work means that you're learning content. So I will accept it late for a maximum grade of 70. After the unit exam, the max it can receive is a 50. Test dates are given out at least a week in advance, often much earlier than that. I can tell you when our first unit exam will be today. I'm not going to, but I could. So the point of that is you will have plenty of notice. I will not be springing any surprise tests on you, so you should be able to prepare well in advance. If you're absent the day before a test and you return the day of the test, you are expected to take the test that day because we very rarely, if ever, cover new content the day before a test. We use that time to review. If you do miss the test, you have to make up the test within the required 10 days, and it's your responsibility to schedule that with me. It has to be outside of class time, so before school, after school, or during your lunch. I withhold the right to change the test so that you are taking a different test than your peers, particularly if being absent on test days becomes a habit. That way you're not gaining an advantage by hearing about content that was on the test. I also do not give retakes. Instead, I do test corrections for partial credit up to a maximum of a 70. The point of test corrections is to help you see where you made mistakes and boost your grade a little, but it's not meant to accommodate a lack of preparation. So you're not going to be able to get an A by completing test corrections. The only way you're getting an A is if you prepare properly the first time. Officially, my tutoring times are Tuesdays and Thursdays before and after school. However, I'm usually available other times, so if those times don't work for you, please see me to schedule a time that will work for both of us, possibly even during my lunchtime if we both have the same lunch, but that has to be scheduled ahead of time, please. Canvas, Canvas, Canvas. Anything and everything you could possibly need or want to know about this class is likely found on Canvas. So when in doubt, check Canvas. All announcements will be sent through Canvas. If I need to make an announcement about an assignment, something I forgot to tell you, or I don't know, whatever, some random thing that I need to announce, that's where it will come from. So please make sure you set your notifications so that you get those announcements in a timely manner. And that completes our discussion of the syllabus.